As a child, I remember experiencing the story of Achilles in the siege of Troy and the Iliad, where Achilles hurls his spear of Pelian Ash at Hector, an impossible throw, hurled far and furiously in such a way that only a demigod could. The hurled spear narrowly misses Hector, but only because of divine intervention from the gods. I remember wishing fervently to be able to hurl a spear like that, and so this is the spiritual aim of this project, to be able to hurl a spear with the strength and accuracy of Achilles himself. The spear was the primary weapon of almost every Anglo-Saxon warrior, from freeman to gesith, regardless of rank. Throwing spears and javelins were often hurled into enemy formations to hinder and harass, inflicting injury and rendering shields unusable. And so, any warrior hoping to gain recognition through combat would have to be skilled with spear and javelin. For a freeman, recently plunged into warfare by his tribe and king, these skills would have to be gained swiftly. A poorly aimed throw could mean death for an ill-trained fighter. No doubt elite and princely warriors with the wealth of free time that their status provided spent vast amounts of time training in combat, riding and hunting dangerous game such as boars and bears, which served as an opportunity for warriors to distinguish themselves and to expose themselves to dangers similar to the psychological stresses of true combat. While a freeman might have some experience in throwing spears through hunting, fighting with the fjord, and occasional practice in between his duties to his farmstead, to prove himself worthy of the rank of gesith, he would need to spend far more time training, if he could afford to do so. This spear is a light throwing javelin, with a simple leaf-shaped blade, typical of the early Anglo-Saxon period. It has a small light head designed mostly for throwing and thrusting, rather than the long-bladed cutting heads of fighting spears. I have a relatively basic level of skill in throwing a spear, able to be fairly accurate and powerful at short distances. At this moment I can hit a man-sized target at about 15 yards, with around 70% accuracy. But I hope to improve on that over the coming months, working on my accuracy and power at longer distances and in different scenarios. This project will follow my progress as I develop my skill, with regular updates as I improve. To begin with, I have focused heavily on my form to make sure my muscle memory develops with a correct and consistent technique. As I throw, I step forward onto my opposing leg, with the foot facing directly towards the target. This greatly helps to keep my body aligned and to direct the spear straight forward. I lean back slightly as I step forward and my non-throwing arm comes up as an aid to sight the target. I bring my throwing arm along this line as I release the spear. I throw with my shoulder first, meaning that my arm travels in a straight line along with my body, almost like throwing a shot put. And only when my elbow has come forward do I extend my arm for the final thrust. This is accompanied by a twisting motion in the hips, and my upper body comes forward into the throw as I release the spear and follow through. The grip is also important. This relaxed grip allows my fingers to release the spear simultaneously, rather than catching or twisting the spear and sending it off course. So far, my focus has been in getting all of these movements right to create an accurate spear throw, focusing on each one in turn as I make them second nature. I can really feel when I get a throw right, as I feel all the movements working together like the arm of a trebuchet, and almost know I have hit the target before the spear leaves my hand. But I have yet to make this an effortless, reflexive movement, so that I can work on putting more power and distance into my throws. Fresh gesiths and warrior companions to the king would also train heavily with a sword, as this would have been far less familiar to those not engaged in near-professional combat, such as freeman farmers and fieldsman warriors. I am basing my training on medieval manuscripts as well as the work of Roland Warchecker, although I have much to learn before I can make a dedicated exhibition of this. Here, I am practicing setting up footwork to close the reach of an opponent, as well as imaginary shield binds and fast sword strikes pivoting around the sword's centre of gravity. The stance and hip hinge can be found in roughly contemporary medieval manuscripts, including the Utrecht Psalter. I am also training with spear and shield, using similar techniques, and hope to show more of this hand-to-hand combat when training with other partners rather than just solo drills. This coming month I will be working on improving my technique and accuracy, as well as working on this throwing technique with a shield in hand, as most Anglo-Saxon warfare was conducted with both spear and shield. I hope my power and distance will naturally improve as I work on my technique, so I can show you all some marked progress with the next regular update of this project. Many of you may want to see the uncut version of my spear throwing drills, so I have included those here for those who want to see it. Thank you for watching, and blessings to you all.